Hello, Sagittarius. It is time for your September reading. We're going to start off, as usual, with an oracle card to see what the primary energy or theme that you'll be working with in September is. And I have these upside down, Awakening Genius. Awakening Genius. So what am I feeling from this card for you? So this may be a particularly creative month for you where you're full of new ideas, inspiration. The flow is just there and working for you. So you may also a slight disadvantage to that is you could be more distracted than usual because you might have a hard time focusing on one. So, but it still feels like good energy. It feels a month of creation, creating things. So maybe if there are some creative projects you've been working on or planning or want to do for a while, this could be the month even that you finish them off or you get that final bit of inspiration or energy to actually complete it, to present it, to if it's a quilt, you get the binding and the label on and it's done and you're very proud of it and you're ready to gift it to someone. The birth of your creation, awakening your genius. Okay, let's see what the tarot cards have for you. We are working with the Transparent Tarot this month. At the insistence of my guides, I'm trying to listen. So let's see how this goes. We are starting off here with the Four of Swords. And then we have the World card. Yep. The Page of Swords. The Hierophant. And the Nine of Wands. Let me confirm that this is the Hierophant. It is indeed. So I'm just kind of looking at these overall to see if there's one big message or something that comes in or some key information that they want to share. I think the biggest feeling I'm getting from this is that don't overthink things. Just let the ideas come in. Don't question them too much and go with the flow. Go with whatever is inspiring you most on that particular day or in that particular week. And that's how you're going to have success this month. So you might feel scattered or it may even look scattered to people around you because you're working on so many things at once, but there is an underlying sense of organization about it. It's like you're working on all these different pieces that are ultimately going to fit into the whole thing, into a final product. But you're not completing one whole piece at a time. You're working a little bit on this one and a little bit on that one, and then you shift your attention to that one, and then you're back to this one, and then over to that one, and then you're back on this one, and then that one again, and you're slowly building them up over the month, bit by bit, until you can compile them all together into one complete project at the end. So follow your muse. That's how you're going to reach success this month. All right. And don't over question it, which is where this first card here is coming in. We have the Four of Swords here in position one. So swords are an air element. This is about our thoughts and ideas. This is about communication. And this card is saying, give it a rest. Don't overanalyze it. Don't overthink it. Just follow your intuition. Go with the flow. Give your brain a break. It doesn't need all of that thought. Just trust yourself as you're in the process of creating. Trust in your genius. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing, as long as you're going with the flow here. So it may even feel like people or other people may think that you're not taking things serious or you're not, it's the lack of focus that they're perceiving you to have. Your focus is just very broad at the moment. Your ultimate focus is on the, but how you get there is in your own unique way, which can be disarming to others because they're not going to get it. And that's okay. They don't need to, and you don't need to explain it to them either. And then we have the World card here. So this is a card indicating completion, indicating success, the end of one thing, so that you can take everything you've learned so far, take the tools and things you've created, maybe even take all these pieces that you've created. Those are points of completion. Getting to that point is a sense of accomplishment because it feels like each of those things could stand on their own for creative expression, which means they are complete in and of themselves, but you have a bigger, broader purpose for them. And that's what the next step is for you. So it could be in this first week or two of September. You're going to complete each of the smaller pieces, each of the little individual things that are in it, again, in and of themselves, works of art or some sort of creative expression. This could be like putting together chapters, but in different orders, even. And they could stand on their own, or maybe it's mini stories or something like that that are going to go into a bigger anthology ultimately, or maybe create or become part of something else that's already in progress. But you complete these different things, and there's definitely a feeling of goodwill, of accomplishment, and pride in what you've completed and what you've put together. And then you can complete your work on those individual pieces and then turn your focus on the bigger picture, on the broader project. And then we come here to the Page of Swords. And now pages are young, it's fresh energy, it's a sense of excitement, of wonder, also a little bit of naivete. This is where you have an idea of what you want to do. You don't know exactly how it's all going to come together yet, but you have a great idea and you're excited about it. You may be doing some research on how to, on techniques and things or methods of pulling these together in the way that you're envisioning, but you're excited. This has got you going. And maybe it could be originally your intent was just to have these individual projects and get those done, which you do, which does happen, as we see by the World card here. But then you get this stroke of genius here for something that you can create that's even bigger and better. It is, I don't, is that a saying? It's more than the sum of its parts. And yet each part is meaningful too. So this is that big, okay. So I have been noticing the theme here where the card that is directly under this really supports the Oracle card. This is your stroke of genius. This is your awakening genius. This is where the big idea comes in. So that's going to be around mid-month or so. And almost immediately after you finish all these other smaller projects, all of a sudden this idea is going to come to you that you could really take this to the next level, to another level. And you're truly inspired to try this. And then we have, oh, okay. And then we have the Hierophant. This is a major arcana card, just like the World is. The Hierophant, this is somebody who is an expert in their field. This is somebody who knows how things are done. This is a leader, an authority figure. I think you'll be reaching out to somebody to get advice on how to get this done. What techniques do they recommend? What other ideas would they have that you should explore? This is somebody you're going to be seeking advice from, maybe even going to some classes. Maybe it's even just YouTube classes or videos, but there's going to be one person in particular that's going to give you the best advice, or where you may gain additional inspiration and ideas just by watching and listening to how they do things. That's going to inspire you further on how you want to put yours together. And I'm thinking about assembly type thing, or literal techniques for doing things in order to create your vision. So seeking out somebody who has done something similar, it's not going to be exactly the same as their, but has done something similar, to find out what their techniques were and what changes would they suggest. Asking them questions, reach out to them and ask questions. They'll be happy to help. And then we have the Nine of Wands. Now, you may have some lingering things out there here at the end of the month, maybe some commitments that could get in the way of you completing this project of or at least of digging into it further or giving you the time. So you may want to cancel some of those things, shift things around because you're really, really in the flow and you don't want to stop what you're doing. You want to continue that flow. You want to complete this thing that you have, this thing that's in your mind, and you just keep envisioning it and you're excited about it. In order to continue working on it here, at least in the last week or so of the month, you're going to need to shift some responsibilities, cancel some plans, shuffle things around so that you have the time to focus on it and so that you can get this done. Because this is something you're really excited about and really looking forward to seeing through to the end. And you deserve to have that. All right, let's see what we have on the bottom of the deck for you. Oops, I'm pulling multiple cards. We have the Seven of Wands. Yeah. So something that could get in the way of your creative process here, of your genius, are other people competing for your time, competing for your attention, wanting to stick their noses into what you're doing because they're curious about what it is you're working on because it's very intriguing and it's something that you really, really focused on, which is can be impressive. But you don't have time to deal with all that. You need to make sure that you're defending your territory. You might have to lock that door to turn off the phone and say, "Look, I need to focus. I can't answer your questions about something that I'm in the middle of doing. I want to focus on getting it done, and then I can answer your questions." So you're going to need to set some boundaries. And again, it might be some resistance here too to giving up, having people take on their own things. Maybe you had agreed to, or by default, you were going to be doing some things that other people weren't getting done. And now you may decide, you know what? It is not my responsibility. I'm not going to get it done. And they may be a little offended that you're not doing their work. They may be. So there could be, trying to sabotage you in small ways, not majorly, but delay you or just because they're being a little petty. Don't let them be petty with you. Don't accept that. This is your time. This is your space. This is something for you. You are not responsible for their work. And you don't have to take it on out of any sense of obligation in any way. So don't let them put their burdens on you. Okay, and then I'm doing a bonus thing with this based on what the creator suggests, where we're creating like a little movie strip here to see if anything else comes through. And I am struggling with not being too precious about how I line these up. My Aries rising wants perfection, and it's just not happening. I am adapting as best I can. All right. Get in there. There we go. Not too crooked. All right. So here we have our little film strip. Oh, I kind of like how this is working over here, but okay. So we're starting out here taking a break, resting, maybe as part of this kind of taking a nap or having a day where you're not focused on anything in particular and letting your mind drift a little bit. This is where that inspiration or suddenly you're going to feel that creative energy flow through and you're going to have the energy and the desire to push through and finish these things you have going on that you have had in progress. And you get to them, you complete them, you get it done. You're very focused on it. We have a sword here in the world card in this layout, which indicates that focus. Your mind is on it, you are into it. That creative flow is going and you're getting stuff done. And you're inspired for some reason. It just feels right and it feels good. And then there's kind of a short break here, maybe once you get those things completed where maybe you are outside in nature or doing something, and that's where the big idea comes in. Maybe you literally see a tree and you're looking up into the branches and seeing how everything flows down or up from one solid spot. And it occurs to you, perhaps, that you can use that or that imagery would really fit well with these things that you just finished. If you could find a way to bring them together, give them a trunk, give them a stable base, that you could create something even better. And it's really inspiring and it gets you really excited. And this is where you're going to probably seek that authority. This is somebody who is very stable, maybe even very well known in your industry or in this technique, whatever it is, they have a solid reputation. And you have a lot to learn from them. And they can, again, this is going to have to do with the techniques of how you can bring it all together or different ways that you could bring it together. It's up to you to ultimately decide what the right one is for you, or maybe even take one of those and add your own little spin to it. But they know what they're doing, and solid advice there. And then you letting some stuff go and rearranging things so that you have the time here at the end of the month to focus in on this thing that you are inspired by and excited about. Okay. Hopefully that provides some additional insight for you. That is what I have for you, Sagittarius, for your September month ahead reading or monthly reading. Please hit that like button and please hit subscribe to help me grow my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.